the significance of body language. As you can tell, I have an interesting relationship with body language, and um,
It's funny
the
you say that.
there's something about the direct eye contact, right? Where this is related to, um, like with the cube and the eyes and stuff. It's like the cube is both like the way that we perceive thing. It's the way that we perceive into things, you know, like
Yes.
looking through the cube, but it's also the way that we express. It's like how we are and how we show up or something. And um, this is how I understand it. It's like when Steiner's cosmology, where you have the astral and then the eye.
Yes.
I think the eye basically. I'm getting a call from my dad. The eye corresponds with like the actual eye or something like that, where it's like the Christ in you or the kingdom of like, the spiritual you which shines through your eyes. And so like when people make direct eye contact, like they kind of can't help but be in the real presence of each other, you know? But then I think, and this can happen too with like very good eurythmy, is how I put it, like somebody who's really incarnating their meaning, so such that it's not just the eyes, but it's like the whole body. Sometimes eurythmy can be like that too. But my point is that on these calls and stuff, like, yeah, I'm trying to point at something which like kind of can't be accessed on these calls.
Yes.
And it's like,
Well, and that's had I not watched your things, I may not have been so open to like a video call. Body language and how you carry yourself is more important.
yeah, and this is like a simulation of, I think I might have lost you. Oh, I hear you, so I'm not sure. You're frozen on my screen.
Can you see me?
Nope, your video cut out. But I can still hear you. Oh, there you are. Now you're back.
Okay, cool.
Just insofar as this is like a simulation of that real, and I think the immediacy of eye contact and such, and I don't know, it's just so, like, I don't know, maybe I'm just venting about
Well, no,
my situation,
I think so. At times, I am very aware of how I am being perceived, even if nobody's saying it. And there is a part of me that's like, keep that energy. Perceive me how you want to, because I can't make you change your perception of me. I can lie to myself if I try to. And I'm more cautious about not lying to myself out of trying than I am. You know what I mean? Like somebody can have a perception of you and you can try to change it and you end up bending yourself. Instead of actually wholeheartly being in what my mom would say is communion or communication with that other person. So back again, not on purpose, is one of the things that the raw materials talks about is love light. And when I was young, I was like, what the fuck does that mean? What the fuck is love light? Like, those are two words, and I understand that they do fit together in some manner, but how the hell do you come to that connection? And it's something like saying the truth out of faithfulness is actually love. Because when you truly love somebody, it doesn't matter what they say to you. If you actually have a what is it, that Saint Augustine sort of completely no judgment at all love, it can be, if it's actually the true testament of love, like God so loved the world, I guess, is are you willing to be truthful? And whatever the best outcome is the best outcome. And if you lose things, regardless of whether they're things, people, places, whatever, that somehow may be above the labyrinth, even if you don't feel like you can see above that labyrinth, and that true love is a light, and that true light is a form of love because it's truth. It's letting you see instead of giving you so much light you are blind to it, or a darkness you can't even perceive.
Nice.
I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. What was striking me is just how, the beauty of that, and how, that really is the answer to our is that we need to like love,
and I think that's maybe this is just me putting my own input on your personal, and you don't have to give a fuck about it, but maybe that's what is it, being a very sort of Jupiterian with your love, because I've been that way and am that way to a certain degree. No, motherfucker, don't you lie to me.
The moon was conjunct my Jupiter today in Pisces.
Well,
yeah, so one might say I was over expansive with my love or something. That's the thing, like, I don't know, the love and the truth, and like to stand in the truth. Oh my gosh, this is such profound and relevant stuff, and this act of love or something, like being a light to the world.
Jesus himself sort of serves as his own antichrist at one point in saying, I don't come here to I come with a sword, dude. Like, I'm gonna chop your families to pieces. I don't know. Maybe that's that. Maybe, I don't know. Sometimes truth. Sometimes you can be like, look, dude. You'd be like, look, dude. I love you to death, but I fucking hate the way you're acting. Like, that's one thing my mom has always said to me with my badass little self. I love you to death.
Yeah.
But it's the truth that you're living in right now is not a lie. It's not aligned.
Yeah, that's the kind of tone that my text was. I was writing a draft text, and that's the kind of tone I was taking. I don't know if you're feeling like what I'm pointing at here, but the way the medium is the message, and like the incarnate word is the truth. It's like that is what's up, and like when we text, that is still the incarnate word in a sense, but it's like different. I don't know. The texting is not like, it puts me in a different
optimal.
Yeah, it's just not like, you cannot express the love and light and the truth in the way you're kind of describing, like in this, because the tough love aspect, when you say something to someone that's tough loving,
it's how you say it.
It's how you say it, and it's the look of love in your eyes. It's, because if you take the words for themselves, it's dangerous.
Well, and see, that's kind of what I was yes, it's textual communication, it's the word incarnate, yes, but because it's textual and it has that time space differentiation than Eurythmic conversation, it allows a door of opening, and you can open a portal, because words have different contexts, and different words have different meanings. Huge is not giant, but you can read huge as a giant unless you are understanding the same pattern that the other person is trying to reflect. Words are Janus-y in a way that you can take it the proper way, or you can take it too differently.
Yeah.
You can open the door, you can close it depending on your heart. And so when you say something to somebody, the heart is more in your tone, in your choice of words, in your bodily mannerisms, in the setting and the time frame you choose to do it in, are all parts of the equation. Like we talk about the fourth wall in pop culture and breaking it, it's very you have a box that you see a 3D image on a 2D screen through, and when people from that 2D 3D element talk to the outside of the box, it's where your heart is at,
Brilliant. Yes, this is exactly my point. To talk to the person through text that is outside of the box, it's like you're imagining where they're at because you can't see them. There is no implicit connection or something like that. But it's interesting the way you describe the portal, where I put the heart chakra in the middle and the eye of the heart. And the eye of the heart is, I think, it goes with iconography in the way you were just describing. And it's just like the cube, and in fact, the hexagram is, Metatron's cube, and the center of the cube is the eye of the heart, and like how, and also I would think about the inner child as like the core, which we defend with like these shells, which is the garments of skin, and it's also like the traumas that we wear of like the stuff about enneagrams. Yeah.
We also find another divine child in the woman of the apocalypse, which it's like, is that proto manger Jesus, or is that a new mankind? Is that, what is this divine child thing pointing towards? Because it's not just
yeah, that would be a connection.
It's not just philosophical, it's not just mythological, it's yeah,
and also like just the psychological aspect of like, this is our experience of trauma, and like,
I don't know, you said that, my brain went thought about like birthing pangs.
The Christ in you, like insofar as we're called to emulate Mary as well, and to cultivate, the presence of like to have the Christ be born within us. Definitely a strong constellation here about like the heart, and like the Christ in you as like being born, and like how there is this vulnerability to that, and to like live that in our experience. In the way you were kind of describing tunneling earlier, it's like there's something about the in-person, like with the eye contact and such, that it's like you're on the same tunnel together or something, and it's like, and you're just implicitly on the same tunnel. But like maybe with video as well to some extent, but like the I don't know, the texting is like, it's like it can create these bifurcations, and it atomizes in this sense. It like, which is death, it like breaks the implicit, I don't know, it's the body of Christ stuff about how like we are.
Yes.
I think Christ is the mystical head, and the second coming is about this. It's about people doing the, whatever you said about like the group,
social memory complex.
Yeah. There's something important about that, and like, I don't know, it's just part, and that's Aquarius with the Grail, the divine feminine. It's about communion and fellowship and stuff, and to like meet up with people who are into this stuff in person, and like to kind of try and develop these to, in a sense, to immanentize the eschaton, which is the second coming of Christ, or something like that. In all humility, like what else is there better to do? To be like Christ. I think that's like, there's something more relational about that. I met my girlfriend through the internet, and when we met up in person, so it's like, it's a great, I guess to say, yeah, it's
a decent floorboard.
Yeah, I appreciate the conversation, and I hopefully you can like see through the cube to like my heart here, and
indeed, sir,
it's good stuff. So yeah, I wish you good. Did you say you're going to work?
Yes, sir.
Heard that. I wish you a good shift at work, and yeah, may Christ be with you, or like, he is in our midst, or something like that. I don't know what to say. I would love to like talk more about the I Ching, because I wonder about an Abraxian rendition of it, or a Christian, like, I know this has been attempted, or a little bit, but I wonder about these correlations with the cosmogram.
I don't know too much about I Ching, but I know that it is what it is, and it's something, it's a part of something.
The I Ching is my main spiritual practice, actually. I throw the I Ching like many times a day, and that was after I took acid. I was listening to Alan Watts and stuff, and Ram Dass, and then that's how, and Terrence, we kind of talked about the I Ching, and that's how I found out about it. And but then after a while, I saw how like the heaven and earth thing of like yin and yang is basically analogous to, you know, like Christ the eternal Tao, this kind of terminology, like where heaven and earth, and it's interesting. It's like to use the I Ching is like to help. It's like an open circle thing. It like helps you see where the balance is and where you are in relation to the balance. And like it's crazy.
See, that's
It's crazy. You
interesting
can
you say
ask
that.
like, and maybe that's part of the problem is that I'm too into the I Ching these days, because it's kind of, it puts you in this open state where I'm like, it's just crazy how you can ask the universe a question and you can get a very pointed and relevant response. Like, I have no doubt in my mind that there is like I basically think about it as interfacing with the logos, or like Christ, you know, like the logos of reality, the pattern of the,
Yes.
and
Well, see, that's
it's crazy, dude. I highly recommend using the I Ching. I don't know, like I don't know if I'm the best example of it in this particular moment, but I really think it's like if you can have a balanced practice with it, it's like crazy. So shout out to the I Ching, and that's how I like got my way to Christianity as well, and saved my ass many times.
See, well, what's interesting to me about that is it's interesting that you said that it's almost like interfacing with the logos, because I noticed in your illustration there that in the middle of the Taijitu, that there's a lotus pod.
This is what I made after my crazy psychedelic experience. And then how there's like a map to the cosmogram. Like in a sense, you can see the Braxton cosmogram. You could imagine the Taijitu as being flat as well, you know?
Yes. At least in the film that I've seen it, and in some other places, Harpocrates is the divine child. That's interesting to me that you said that as a like it's a conversation with the logos, because out of the lotus is where Harpocrates is born.